We will start the regular press conference by Minister Hayashi. The floor is yours. As of today, the cabinet decision has been made to hold a state funeral for the late former Prime Minister, Mr. Abe, and to host foreign dignitaries and other participants on the occasion. In light of this decision, relevant information such as the date, time, and location will be notified to countries and others with whom Japan has diplomatic relationship. In addition, in order to ensure full preparations to host such foreign participants, it has been decided to establish the Office for the Preparation of the State Funeral of former Prime Minister Abe within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Going forward, under the leadership of this office, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will also work accordingly towards the state funeral. That is it from myself.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. When you're designated, please state your name and affiliation. Asahi Shimbun, Nobita-san, please. You talked about the state funeral. Now, countries, we have diplomatic relations. How many countries, how many attendees are you expecting? And this office that is to be set up, what kind of structure, how many people? And towards September, what kind of work will be done in preparation? First of all, the structure. Ishizuki Hideo, Deputy Director General of Asia and Pacific, will be heading this office. It's going to be 30 people strong, and we'll be looking at the situation, and we will be reviewing the staffing and may increase the staffing as needed. Now, attendees from various countries, we have received many messages of condolence from various countries. We realize the major mark that former Prime Minister Abe left in diplomacy. So we will make sure that there will be no omissions in accommodation and reception for the attendees attending this state funeral.
Abe-san, Yomiuri Shimbun. Abe, Yomiuri Shimbun. Also, this is about the state funeral. I have two questions. Indeed, a large number of foreign dignitaries are expected to attend. What kind of funeral diplomacy do you plan to deploy? You mentioned that there will be notification to countries with diplomatic relationship. Is Taiwan included? Thank you. The funeral diplomacy, the state funeral which has just been decided, is held in consideration of factors such as Prime Minister Abe's having left numerous legacies and achievements throughout the longest ever 8 years and 8 months in our constitutional history, with his outstanding leadership and power to act under the grave responsibility as a Prime Minister, and that he has been praised immensely by the international community, including foreign heads of state, and that so many messages of condolences and sympathies have arrived from both homes and abroad from extensive parties. By organizing a state funeral, we shall remember former Prime Minister Abe and demonstrate our determination that we will not succumb to violence and will defend democracy with firm resolve. At the same time, I wish to demonstrate our vitality that we shall inherit and pass on a vibrant Japan and pioneer our future. Apart from states, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Palestine, and on the death condolence messages have arrived from international organizations. Such will be the parties whom we will notify.
Next question. Doan Daily, Lee-san. Lee from Doan Daily. You had the foreign ministers meeting between Japan and ROK. Mr. Kagan, in charge of East Asia, at the National Security Council of the United States, he mentioned that Japan-South Korea relations are important. What is the position of the Japanese government in terms of improving relations between Japan and ROK? Yes, I am aware of the reporting, including the response to North Korea. For the stability of the region, the relationship and coordination between Japan and South Korea, Japan, South Korea, and the US are important. Japan-ROK relations are having a very difficult situation because of the former civilian workers from the Korean Peninsula issue as well as the comfort women issue, but we cannot just leave it as is. Keeping a promise between countries is the basics of interstate relations. Based on this interaction with Secretary Park, we want to restore Japan-ROK relations to a sound relationship. That is the consistent position of Japan.
Next question, Mr. Azhari.
Japan. I would like to ask about G20. You met the Saudi Foreign Minister on Tuesday. Did you discuss the future of G20? Because both countries, Saudi Arabia and Japan, are members. There are some calls by politicians to disband the G20 or to remove Russia from that. What is Japan's position on this? Thank you.
The international community, I think, can no longer continue respective relationship with Russia as it has been due to Russia's aggression of Ukraine. Regarding the treatment of Russia within G20, we will discuss with the G20 members, including Indonesia, which is the chair, and based on the situation going forward, the government will take appropriate responses. I shall refrain from discussing the details of diplomatic communication, but between myself and Foreign Minister Faisal of Saudi Arabia, and during the meeting of the Foreign Minister and Prime Minister Kishida, there were exchanges of frank opinions, including the coordination of the international community regarding Russia's aggression of Ukraine, and reaffirmed that we will continue our close collaboration.
This is going to be the last question. Maeda-san from Kyodo News. This is a question about the accident of the Sightseeing ship in Shiretoko. The 3 bodies that first will be found in the northern territories have not been handed over to the Japanese side. Has there been no agreement for this handover from Russia? Is there coordination underway? Can you tell me the current situation? There are concerns that the sanctions against Russia is having an implication on this. What is the situation? For the 3 bodies that have been discovered by the Russians in Kunashiri Island and Sakhalin, it's not the case that the Russians are rejecting the handover of the bodies to Japan. We're currently working to reach agreement on the method of handover and the timing of the handover, assuming that the bodies will be handed over to Japan. So coordination is intensively underway with the Russians. From a humanitarian standpoint, we want to realize this handover of the bodies as soon as possible, so we will continue to work with the Russian side. Yes, we are having our exchanges with the Russian side as appropriate on a timely basis. It's not the case that the sanctions or the relations with Russia is having an impact or having a hindrance on this situation. Thank you. That is the end of the conference.